Alright guys, I want to talk to you about the landing gear. We're gonna drill this landing gear out. Now earlier in the build video I showed you how to use the landing gear plate to go ahead and mark out your holes earlier in the build instead of trying to mark it all out. A lot of times you'll see these instruction manuals, they're in metric system. Over here in the US we use fractional. Also they're going to call for like number 2 bits or whatever. So I'm going to tell you what you can use. When you're doing this, if you use an 1/8 inch bit, that's just about 3 millimeters. So if you just mark your holes with the landing gear plate, mark center like I showed you, and drill an 1/8 inch hole, it just slightly over 3 millimeter, that works good. On the sides where they want you to drill for the axles, let me see if I can turn this up. They're going to tell you to come up 4 millimeters from the bottom. Well, 4 millimeters falls between 1/8 and 3/16. So if you just mark it 3/16 of an inch up from the bottom, you're good. It also calls for a 5/64, a 2 millimeter hole, which is 5/64. Well, if you stick a 1/16 inch drill bit right there and just kind of wallow it out a little bit, not a lot, just barely wallow it, you'll be at 2 millimeter. Okay, so that's how you drill up your holes and mark them. Just go dead center here, come up, you know, like 3/16 from the bottom, put it in the center, and drill yourself a 1/16 of an inch hole there. You'll be good for your axle. All right, that's it. Now here's the 1/16 of an inch drill bit. If you just lay the landing gear down, it's carbon fiber, but I think it's covered over a wood strip, so it's pretty easy to drill through, just like that. Flip it over, do the same thing to the other side. So for those of you that don't use hand drills, or electric drills, you can use your little hobby drill and drill out your axle holes no problem. See that wood coming through? That's because I think that it's carbon fiber laid up over top of a wood strip. Now I'll drill the top holes. That one I'll have to use a drill bit with. Drill motor, because it's going to require a 1/8 inch drill bit, and this little hand drill doesn't chuck up an 1/8. Okay, so I went ahead and used my little hand drill, and I drilled some starter holes, and I'm going to drill this with a 1/8 bit now. It's going to go really slow. Not going to force it at all, because it will go right through. Okay, that's the one. Just flip it around. Go to the next. There it is. We're all set to go. Okay, we're ready to install our landing gear. I put welder's glue on the landing gear where we marked our holes. We're going to slide this under the fuselage between the landing gear plate and the inside of the lower vertical fuselage half. Okay, once you get it in place, just line it up with the holes, and what do you know? They match perfectly because we marked them with the landing gear plate. You're going to use these 2 panhead looking screws. Let me see if I can get them to focus. Here they are. They send 4 of them in the kit. I'm not sure what the other 2 are for, but anyhow, get the first screw started. Kind of support the bottom of the model. Alright, get that one started, then we'll get the second one started. Sorry guys, I got these kind of fat fingers, and it's hard to use these small screws sometimes. Alright, the second one's going to get started. Now we'll just run this one all the way down until it tightens up against the motor plate. The landing gear plate. And we'll tighten the second side down. Alright, there we have landing gear installed. The screws and that welder's glue is not going to let that come loose. Ready to move to the next step.